The second key, if you're going to get through to mind-stuck people or really speak to that instinctive mind, is to lessen the loss. Now, it doesn't take a genius to know that the emotion most closely associated with stubbornness is fear. Now, here's the interesting thing, though, and I was surprised to learn this myself, is that for years I've been told, and I've written about this in books, I've just assumed it's the case because everyone seems to say it, that humans are just inherently afraid of change. We're told that so often, you just assume it's true. It's actually not. In fact, from a neuroscience standpoint, the last 10 years, what it's revealed is that humans aren't actually afraid of change. That might surprise you. What they are afraid of, the thing that causes them to be stubborn, is not a fear of change, it's a fear of loss. The moment change, new ways of doing things, new ways of operating, the moment there's a sense of loss associated, that's when we dig our heels in and get stubborn. And so rather than trying to upsell the benefits of change, it would be better to lessen the loss associated with change. And there are three losses that are most commonly associated with stubbornness, and I wonder which of these is the one you see play out the most. The first of these is the loss of power. I used to have a power base. I knew where I stood. Now I may not if I have to change. Second one's a loss of certainty. Even if the old way of doing things wasn't great, at least I understood it. The idea of leaping into the unknown is terrifying for a lot of people, and that's linked to the third loss, the loss of dignity. The moment ego becomes involved, we've got to be super aware that people will do anything to preserve their ego, even if it disadvantages them. Now, there's a woman who's done probably the most valuable research looking at this third element, how it plays out, particularly when you've got two or three different parties feuding with each other. Diane Musho-Hamilton is her name, and here's what she said. When confronted, she's noticed our minds will automatically retreat to the perspective that makes our egos feel most safe. What's that perspective? I'm right, and you're wrong. That's the safest position for us to be in. And this starts at such a young age. You see this play out with kids all the time. In fact, I love this next little video here. It's just a beautiful case in point of this very principle.
My mom told me it was wiggling. My mom is not. It's not. My mommy is raining. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, you're pretty. And you're not real. I'm real. Because it's raining. No, it's not. And that's raining. Ow. It's raining. It's okay. It's raining. You broke my heart.
Now, apart from being outrageously cute, it illustrates the point that we as adults, we don't poke each other's hearts often, okay? But we do the same thing over and over again. In fact, I saw this T-shirt recently and it was like, I'm not arguing, I'm just explaining why I'm right. Some of you know people who, that's their life motto, okay? And we see this so often play out. And interestingly, one of the dynamics that typically causes this, and we've got to be aware of why people get defensive in terms of their ego, even when they know better. Now, even when people know they should change and they know the benefits of changing, why do they dig their heels in? Typically, it's because of this thing here, a dynamic I call psychological sunk cost. Now, everyone here is probably familiar with economic sunk cost, this idea that you'll stick with a course of action or a decision or a purchase that you've made, an investment you've made, even if it's not going well and it's not going to end well. And in fact, a better option has come along. But you'll stick with the original decision. You will allow your past decisions to rob you of future benefit because you've already invested so much money. You've spent so much time on this, you'll see it through to the bitter end. We do that economically all the time. But you know what? We also do it psychologically. We'll have mindsets, beliefs, ways of doing things that, there's a better option that's come along, faster, cheaper, easier. And yet we've invested so much time and energy. Maybe we've invested ego in the existing way of doing things because we've become advocates, spokespeople for this way of doing things. And so now changing would actually be something that's a little bit embarrassing. And so psychological sunk cost so often causes us again to dig our heels in even when we know better. If you want to get around this sense of the fear of loss, the best way to do this is to allow for autonomy. Give people agency. Give them choice. Make people feel like they are in the driver's seat of the change.